Audiobooks are cheating. You're not really reading. It's too easy. Good, because that good is going to be your secret weapon that your favorite authors never even told you about. For over a century, we've treated reading like a test. Are you intelligent and intellectual enough to read? And we have failed ourselves. So I'm going to settle this war today, right now. And I'll show you when to pull out your secret weapon and when to pick up that physical book to read with your eyes like a normal human being and to shut out the whole world. So, when are audiobooks superior? And they are superior. You'll find out now. First of all, audiobooks kill dead time. Yes, audiobooks are the complete end of dead time during the day. Any time that you're doing chores, cooking, getting ready to go somewhere, going from A to B to Z with the bus or with the plane, or doing something that your mind is quiet and you feel like you could be doing something else, that dead space, audiobooks are going to kill that dead space. It's going to make you more efficient, and during those super boring chores or tasks that nobody wants to do, let's be honest, no one wants to be doing laundry on a Friday night. Well, you're going to be immersed while doing that, and it's going to be fun and efficient. That is where audiobooks are superior. Second of all, the ancient tradition of storytelling will be preserved. Think about it. Stories were always told. Stories were always heard through most of human histories. Think about campfires, cavemen, old societies, tribes. Stories were always listened to. And by listening to audiobooks, this is preserved and it taps into your ancient human and your ancient need to hear stories. Think about it. Why do people love gossiping so much? We love hearing stories. When you listen to audiobooks, you defeat perfectionism. When you just press that play button, it is so easy. You don't even have to think. There is no friction. The story begins. And it kills the perfectionism of needing to read and reread every single line. In a physical book, it takes time. Like, first you need to convince yourself, okay, right now I'm going to go and start reading. I'm going to open this book. I'm going to dedicate the next 2 to 3 hours to reading. You would reach an interesting part and maybe you would reread once and twice and 3 times, and you can go back in the pages and figure out what went on 5 pages ago and then go back. Well, the audiobook is superior because it defeats this perfectionism. You just press the play button and the story plays. You can't really go back and forth or reread. You just need to be ultra focused. And that leads me to the next point, which is focus. It builds deeper focus because you need to visualize in real time. You need your brain to be locked in, absorb the information, and visualize it in real time, like as if it's happening right now. It also makes you better at listening. And I will tell you a little bit more about this later, but the more you listen to audiobooks, the more you train your brain to pick up words and sounds and tones, accents. I will explain it in a little bit, but also habit wins. Audiobook listening becomes a habit, and it's a very easy habit to form compared to physical books. It also makes you productive in times where you're doing chores or being lazy. Just put that audiobook. You'll feel way more productive than just hoovering the house with nothing in the background. This makes you immersed and productive while doing the stuff that you don't want to do. It makes the boring stuff interesting. Let me also tell you why audiobooks are so superior. Eye health. That's a huge one. When you read books, you're looking at a close distance, which it does ruin your eyes over time, especially if you read for long periods. Your eyes get dry, you don't blink, you're interested, you don't even take breaks, and your eyes suffer. But with audiobooks, you can look far away. You can be sitting in a bus, doing something, walking around, jogging. You would be training your eye muscle and relaxing your eye, all while consuming and absorbing stories. Isn't that amazing? That's what makes the audiobook a secret weapon. It should be illegal. It's amazing. You can hear voice and tone. There would be background noises in some books like doors opening, footsteps, drips, drops, people talking, screams, and you would also hear the voice actor's voice going up and down, which makes it way more immersive and way more interesting than just reading a plain text. Hey, if you're enjoying this so far, do subscribe and like the video to show me that you like it. The next thing is, when do you pick up the physical book, and when is the physical book superior and wins over the audiobook? Well, there are quite a lot of cases where the physical book is superior. Here is where audiobooks completely fail us and the physical book completely wins. It is when you need to learn and understand. When you need to learn and understand, you need to be able to read at a pace that you're comfortable with, a slow pace. You maybe need to reread and go back and forth, read lines again, read them 2 times, 3 times, sit on a single word for 1 minute. And with audiobooks, this just does not work whatsoever. When you're reading poetry, philosophy, theory, textbooks, something educational, physical books win, and you will have to ditch the audiobooks. The second place where physical books win and audiobooks fail is when you need a sanctuary. If you want books to be a sanctuary to you and to completely escape and immerse, you cannot be multitasking. You cannot be walking while reading, while, doing something. If you want a sanctuary, the physical book wins and the audiobook loses. Unless if you sit in your room and only listen to the audiobook and stare at the ceiling. The third place where physical books win is the magic. With an audiobook, you're downloading a file. You're listening to an MP3 or a WAV file or whatever that extension is. It's a file, it's a digital thing, it can get lost. But the physical book, it's more like an artifact. It's a treasure, it's a gem. You read it and you put it in your room and it stays there. The fourth place where physical books and physical reading is completely superior is giving yourself a little bit more imagination, because you need to interpret the voice and the tone and the dialogue. You need to imagine the sounds in your head by yourself. Meanwhile, in the audiobook, it kind of feeds you these things and it feeds you an already done interpretation of the tone, because the performers, they interpret how the character sounds, speaks, their tone, the way, the speed, everything, all of that. The physical read also gives you a silence that audiobooks cannot match, and that stills the mind. So if you want to still the mind, go for the physical read. So as I said, with a physical read, you will need to engage your deeper imagination. You will need to imagine sounds. You will need to imagine the atmosphere, the wind howling, a door creaking open, a character clearing their throat, the way that they speak, all of that, you will have to imagine it. The place where audiobooks completely fail us and physical reads uplift us. It's all about the consumerism culture and the hustle and fast-paced living. Audiobooks cater to that. They make you consume. They make you go faster. They make you have to hustle and be productive and multitask. They make even reading feel like a hustle that you have to do while doing 10 other things. And if you do not want to conform with this hustle culture and toxic productivity culture, then definitely the physical read is your best friend. If you love the way that I'm presenting this, you can absolutely buy me a matcha latte. The link to my Buy Me a Coffee website is down in the description. You can absolutely also buy me a book. I'll be so happy. Let me tell you where I got the idea for this video. It kind of streams from my story when it comes to reading. I've always been a physical book person. I love the aesthetic. I love the scent of pages. I love the scent of a new book. I love walking into libraries. I love walking into bookshops It's always been my thing. Winter, curled up with a throw blanket and a novel and some silence. I loved that. The thing is that I had some issues with my eyes simply because everything that I do is close distance. Reading is close distance. Writing is close distance. Editing my YouTube videos is close distance. Painting and studying. I draw every day. Also, it is close. I go to Chinese lessons. All of it, everything, literally everything I do is close distance. And the only two things that I do are not close distance are probably when I'm cleaning up or doing workouts. That's it. Over time, my eyesight truly began to spiral downwards, and I started to see things blurry. I couldn't see at night. And even sometimes if I spend a whole day writing or a whole day painting, I would end up seeing the words blur in front of me. And that really scared me. The worst part is the second I go take a break, it would be to go read. And reading is also close. So I was like, can't I just get Siri to read the books for me or something? And I was like, okay, so there's this thing, audiobooks. People say audiobooks are good, and a lot of people read audiobooks. But then I was hesitating. Isn't audiobook reading or listening, isn't that cheating? And I kept hesitating and being stubborn, and I didn't want to try or even give it a try at first. But then my eyes just couldn't handle it at some point. And I gave audiobook reading a try. It was a challenge at first because it turns out that I wasn't really good at picking up accents and picking up some words when people speak really quickly. With audiobooks, I had to like become better at understanding what people are saying, even when they're saying it quickly and saying a lot of different ideas at the same moment. So it really developed that skill for me to the point that even in movies, which before I couldn't watch English movies without subtitles, but now I can. And even when there are accents, I can absolutely understand every single word, and I'm so happy for that. Then I became absolutely obsessed with audiobooks. They transform mundane tasks like sitting in the bus or doing my makeup or brushing my hair into this amazing immersive world I would dive into. And it makes all the boring tasks pass in a blur. I recommend it so heavily recommend and advise that you try audiobooks. The cool thing is that you can also adjust the speed. You can do it either normal speed, which is I think 1, and you can make it slower or faster. I usually listen to it on 0.9, which is slightly slower than normal because I just want to absorb everything perfectly. Some people listen to fast, but that also relates to the hustle consume culture, and I do not want to get into that deeply. No thanks. I want to listen to books slowly so I can absorb them, but it just depends on what you want to do. The app that I use for listening to books is called Storytel. I chose Storytel over all of the other apps because Storytel is so affordable. It gives you unlimited reads. You can read as many books as you want with the amount you pay. Meanwhile, on some other apps, you literally have a limit. You pay a lot, and then you can only read 5 books a month. What? Like, that's so stupid. No, I'm getting Storytel. Storytel is absolutely the best. The only drawback is that you will not find every single book available. For example, there might be some ancient books or some very unique vintage books. You'll definitely not find them easily online. Maybe even on other apps you might not find them. So then you will have to read the physical book. But that's fine. Audiobooks are amazing. They're a secret weapon. They're the big gun. You absolutely need to try it. What are you doing? Try it. If you hate reading, try audiobooks. If you love reading physical books, also try audiobooks. If you want the real reason why you as an artist or a creative person need reading, whether as an audiobook or a physical book in your life. Well, the reason is because it will absolutely transform reality for you. If you want to know how, watch my video that talks about this. It's called Why Artists Should Read. But it's about everyone, not just artists. If you're creative, even just like 10% creative, you need that video. So yeah, that is my my video, or like my contemplation about audiobooks versus physical books. They're both great. I currently prefer audiobooks, but I also read physical books, although audiobooks are better for my eyes. So yeah, press play to pass the time. Turn the page to step outside time. Leave your comments down below and let's discuss this. Tell me what you think. Do you think audiobooks are cheating? Or do you think it's actually an amazing invention? Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer audiobooks or do you prefer physical books? Let me know. And see you in the other video, which is ultra important for you, and you'll be convinced and motivated to read every single day, and it's going to change everything for you. I promise you that. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye!